Three women break down.
Three women break down life as mothers, wives, and boss bitches, all while keeping it together with coffee, duct tape, therapy, smut books, and each other.
Get the kinks out with us.
You're the captain today. Captain Geeg.
Oh, no, thank you. I don't want that.
You can do it.
On my conscience.
You can do it. You're the captain today. Mars here. Geeg is the captain. Welcome to Kinks Out.
Welcome. Hey. We just had a shit storm of technical difficulties, so let's hope we're even recording right now. Sugar, you with us?
Yeah.
She's here. All right, listen, we love a good laugh around here, but if you've listened in the past, you know we are no strangers to talking about our mental health. And on today's episode, we're going to really dig into it. The stigma around mental health issues is real, but here we see you and we acknowledge that it is hard. 1 in 5 Americans suffer from a mental illness, and we're going to share some of our own struggles today, and maybe some things can resonate with you guys to help you feel a little less alone. And not to get super political, because that's not necessarily what this episode is about, but the current changes in the U.S. administration have been really anxiety and stress-inducing for a lot of us. So we're running this tight line of being informed lately and trying to take action, but while also protecting our individual peace. So welcome to Kinks Out. It's about to get real.
Yeah.
I can't believe that it's only 1 in 5.
Yeah,
1 in
that
5.
seems like it's not, right? It feels like more.
Yeah. Like, we'll be spouting some facts. I just want to state this, some facts and statistics. And we got them from the National Institute of Mental Health America, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, Johns Hopkins Medicine, and the Center for Disease Control. So also full disclaimer.
Yes. None of us are medical professionals. We are doing our best to learn and have facts. We have no qualifications for medical advice besides our own experiences. At the end of the episode, we will provide resources should you need help. But like, as always, we're here to support you guys, to reach out if you need help, and know that like you're not alone. But also, we are not doctors.
Yes.
To clarify 100 million times, we are not doctors in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, this is mostly about our own experiences. Yeah. With some facts sprinkled in, because I'm a statistic girly. I really enjoyed looking. I thought a lot of it was eye-opening when I was looking up some of the statistics. So
sometimes it's eye-opening and then terrifying.
Yeah.
So again, it's like that fine line of, do I read about this or not?
Yeah. Shug, you have experience in reading about stuff.
Oh gosh. I was going to say I'm a certified Google doctor. That's for sure.
Certified Google doctor.
I'm making you a certificate.
Hang it up in your house like a diploma.
I'm still blown away by this 1 in 5. I'm trying to figure out if that is just people who are diagnosed, and like there are, like, I feel like there's lots of people who just, you know, like, especially women who go to the doctors and their doctors are just like, oh, you're tired, you're overwhelmed, it's nothing other than that.
One of the facts was women experience depression at roughly twice the rate of men. Yeah, and almost obviously. 6 in 10 people with mental illness get no treatment or medication.
Wow.
Yeah, yep. So that makes sense to me that they would say it's 1 in 5, because I bet you it's really 4 in 5. And 3 of those people are not getting the help they need or aren't diagnosed.
Yeah, getting the help in I know that we have people that listen all over, so this doesn't necessarily pertain. Some of these statistics don't pertain to everyone because we're in the United States. But the one statistic that blew me away was that 50% of all lifetime mental illnesses begin by the age 14.
Oof.
Yeah.
75% of them by age 24.
14. Oh my God. That's wild.
I think mine started at 5.
Yours started in utero.
In utero.
Yes, for sure.
No, it's hard. I mean, yeah, you not to jump right out of the frying pan and into the fire, Shug, but you've been going through it, and we said that on the last episode. That you've had a tough go of it lately. So and I know that you've, talked about it. So do you mind sharing with everybody kind of what's been going on?
Of course. Of course.
She's like, finally, it's my time. Fuck all of your books. Let me tell you about my Zoloft.
Oh my gosh.
I'll
Yeah,
let Shug.
like this, I mean, like I said, I've been an anxious person my entire life. I think that when I was little, like there was a refrigerator on a magnet on the refrigerator. Not a refrigerator on
There was
the
a refrigerator on the magnet.
Yeah, a magnet on the refrigerator that my mom put there that said, nobody likes worry warts. I think it's because like I was like just so anxiety driven even when I was young. But then I got this complex that nobody would like me because I was a worry wart. And I think that's where all my trauma begins. But it's like
that poor little
poor 6-year-old.
magnet.
Yes. But no, I've always struggled with anxiety, specifically health anxiety. So that means that I can get on an airplane and I'm not ever worried about the plane crashing, but I am totally worried about throwing up or somebody next to me throwing up on an airplane. So that doesn't make sense to a lot of people. Like, people are like, what? Like, why is that something you would freak out about? And I don't know. That's the way my brain
That's a
is
real
wired.
phobia, though. Fear of throwing up is a real phobia.
I want to look up what it's
Yeah.
called.
Yeah.
It's emetophobia or something like that.
Yes. No, that's a very real thing.
Yeah. Mine extends into like all health. So, I mean, since like I remember starting in like college, like I would have a fear that I was having a heart attack and call an ambulance and go to the hospital, and they'd be like, "You're having a panic attack. You're fine." Which
But
you
you're
would
not
think,
fine.
right? You would,
Yeah, exactly.
think,
That's the hard part. Like there's a fine line between that. You know what I mean? Like you're
Right.
obviously not fine if you thought you were having a heart
Yes.
attack and it's a panic
Like
attack.
you're fine in the aspect that you're not having a heart attack, but you're still not fine.
Yeah, but as a woman, especially as like a young woman, like you'd go to the hospital and they'd be like, "Okay, you're good," and go back home. Like,
Yeah.
like there's no like, here, this is someone you need to reach out to. Like, if you want it to not happen anymore, like you're not gonna go to an emergency room and they're gonna like solve your problem. Like, you
Yeah.
have to be able to solve your problem, which I think is the worst part of mental health in the US, at least. That there's like, to get help you have to like, you have
Jump
to
through
first of
hoops.
all be able to do it, be able
Right.
to ask for help.
Yeah.
Second, you have to find somebody who's willing to listen to you and take you seriously and have the resources to do that. I mean, like, just in my experience this past year, like having to see how many doctors to like finally get a diagnosis and get on medication. And I'm like, I'm lucky that I have like supportive people in my life, but like the people who don't, like, I don't know how they do it.
Yeah. And and you have health insurance. I mean, that's its
Right.
own thing in the United States, especially too. It's just a bunch of horse shit. But
Don't even get me started
yeah.
on health insurance.
Yeah.
I'm so angry at health insurance right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's the hard part too, is that you can't just, first off, you have to acknowledge the fact that you even need help to begin with. And that's half the battle.
Right.
Right from the get-go. Because once again, like we were saying with those statistics, like how many of those people actually, understand what it is that they're going through, that, like have the self-awareness to know that they need help.
Yeah.
even if they have the self-awareness, like the stigma about mental health
Oh,
is like, if you are struggling with something that like something's the matter with you, and nothing's the matter with you.
yeah.
It's just the way your brain works. And I think that's the hardest part. Nobody wants to admit that they're struggling. And if more people would admit that they were struggling and be able to connect, like the connections that I have found with people just from struggling and like looking and trying to find things, even on social media, like you just feel so much less alone to realize that there are lots of other people in the world dealing with the same thing.
Yeah. I can resonate with that. When I had my third kiddo, I had it kind of like flipped a switch, and I had the postpartum anxiety and the postpartum there's like a few different things that I'd written down, because like there's types of mental illness that are postpartum, like post birth. Issues are depression, anxiety, rage, OCD, panic disorder, PTSD, and it's rare, but like the postpartum psychosis. uh
Mm-hmm.
so I started with a similar, like the health stuff. Like I was so afraid that I was going to die and leave my kids. Like
Mm-hmm.
every little twin. And after you have kids, like you're not sleeping. You're not, everything is just so different. You're having night sweats. Nobody tells you about all of these things after you've had
No.
kids. Like the night sweats, the hormonal changes, the way your body's changing. And, like I would have these twinges of pain, or like breastfeeding. Then I would be like, oh my God, that's a lump. And I would obsess. I was obsessed with any pain that I had, thinking that it was going to kill me and I was going to leave my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it just it took over, and I didn't know how to manage it. And that's when I first started seeing a therapist for all of that. And you don't realize how common it is until you talk to somebody who helps people, because you're
Mm-hmm.
like, and I'm like, I'd never heard anybody say any of this stuff. Like, this is a thing. Like, this is actually like what women can go through. And then also I dealt with postpartum rage, and I felt like I would get so angry. And I was like, this feeling does not make any sense for what's going on right now. And I would like see red. I never understood that term until it's like I would drop something. And it wasn't anything that anybody was even doing around me, but it was just like if I dropped something, I would get so angry at myself that I would be like shaking, and I would be like, this response does not make sense. Like, what is happening with my body? And so I started Zoloft, and I decided to post on social media that I was on Zoloft. And I just took this one little picture of a pill in my hand. Dozens of mothers messaged me on social media.
Really?
Dozens. And they were just like, thank you for sharing this. Like, and a couple of them, we kept talking, and they were like, I think I need help. And I was like, I'm happy to refer you to my doctor, or I'm happy to just be here to talk when you need it. And a few of the women, they got into therapy, or they got on medication, or like they just needed to talk. But like, it was wild to me that like half of them were sort of strangers too. Like they weren't people that I talked to regularly. And they were just like, oh my God, I needed to see this.
Yeah.
And that was wild to me, that this one picture of a pill had that effect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like it was just
absolutely.
crazy.
And you're still on Zoloft, correct?
Yes, yeah, I'm still on Zoloft. I've gone like back and forth between 50 milligrams, and then I got down to 25 thinking that I would be able to get off of it, and then just like life. So then I was like, I think right now I might need to be back on 50. So, which is still a really, really low dose.
Is it what's like I don't know enough about it to know that. Like
That's like the minimum, like they start you
That's
off
the
at
starting.
50.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah, like you ease into it. So like whenever you first start to take it. Like, is that what you did, Shug? Did you start with 25 for
Yes.
a few
And
weeks or whatever, and then
for a few weeks, for a few months, because my anxiety was afraid to to go up to the actual
Here's
starting
Zoloft
dose.
anxiety.
But
Yeah.
there's a stigma around taking the medication too, so it's not like it feels like you're just like popping a Tylenol or something. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
Right.
not.
It's like, oh,
That's
you know,
so
you
valid.
can't handle it on your own. You need the medication. And it's like,
Yeah.
who fucking cares if I need the medication?
Or even, I guess, worrying about the reactions that you're
Yeah.
gonna get. Like, I get that, man. I totally get that. But did you go up to 50? What are you at now?
Yeah, I'm at 50 now.
And
Yeah.
you said
And
you've
it-
noticed like a big difference with it.
Yeah, it is a big difference. It's not kind to my stomach right now, but it's I think that it's a good move, and the side effects will go away at some point. So,
Yeah. Are you gonna
But-
go up higher? Did they want you to go up higher, or where did they?
I think that like in 3 weeks we'll like reconvene and see how it's going.
Yeah. I do have to say, I think it was my PC. No. Yeah, it was my PCP that prescribed mine. What was yours?
My PCP did, but then I ended up going to a psychiatrist to make sure that the medication I was on was the correct one. And so she's handling it now.
Yeah, like the correct one for you.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's true too. Like not all of what are they considered, SSRIs? Is that what they are?
I have no idea. She
It's
looked at me.
serotonin.
I already said I'm not a doctor.
You're not Dr. Google. Excuse me. Dr.
Yes.
Shuggy Google. They're SSRIs,
Yes.
right?
They are
What's it stand for?
SSRIs.
Or what does that mean, I
We
guess?
won't get into it, but it's exactly what RFK is going after. But
We
we'll
can
leave
get
that
into it
be.
though. Yeah, it's selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
he's going after it, but it's fine because you'll just go to a farm for a little bit,
Like,
and then you'll be fine.
I mean, a farm right now sounds good. Bury me in dirt up to my neck. That's what I want.
Stop it. No, but for real, what is he saying? Like, what is?
Yeah, he's coming for SSRIs because he says that they cause violence in people, but I think it's and they're harder to get off than heroin, but I don't know anybody who's died
What?
taking
They're harder to get off than
antidepressants.
heroin.
Yeah.
Okay,
Or like people, like the argument they have said is like, then why can I miss my dose for like a week and forget?
Right. I have,
But like you're not missing your next heroin hit. Like
That's
no,
wild.
no. One
Yes.
of my childhood best friends was a heroin addict. And I know for a fact now that she is like probably still goes to therapy. I would bet my life on it that she takes some sort of Zoloft or medication like that, and she is a thriving member of society.
that we could go into everything that is wrong, but
This is
that
true.
would be a whole other episode.
Yeah, because we have feelings on that.
Yeah.
We got feelings.
But also, I mean, I do think, like, just in my own experience, like getting on Zoloft, like I started in December and it's taken until like this week to feel a little bit better. Like, so like here you are, like you're at a point where you feel like I have to take medicine. Like I'm not able to function. Like this is not going well without it. And then you start a medication and it does not always work right away, which I think is just like so frustrating. And like no doctor tells you that you're going to feel, there's a possibility that you're going to feel so much worse before you feel better. And just like navigating through that, and like you're just like, and I understand why so many people probably start taking them and stop, because is terrible in the
Yeah,
beginning.
you were there. I mean, you were wondering if it was the right medication for you.
Yeah, you were in like the trenches with it. Like you didn't
Yes.
get out of bed. Your anxiety just was like through the roof. I mean, you went, and we can edit this out if you like don't want it shared, but like, you went to a concert and you ended up calling like a hotline because you just couldn't, like, what were you feeling like when that happened, I guess? Like, because you had started the Zoloft, you were only what, a couple weeks into it, maybe a month or two, and you went
No, I was
to
a
a
whole
concert and you
month
were in a
into it.
hotel room.
What'd you say?
I was a whole month into it at that point.
Yeah.
And you just were so panicked and like riddled with anxiety that you couldn't sleep. Like you were just pacing. You said you lost like 10 pounds from pacing. But also, we should mention that her kids have been sick with like this plague that's been going around, and they've got it like multiple
I
times.
feel like you've had it for 85 years.
I feel like it's been 85 years, and
Yeah.
it's just
I can't imagine what you feel like.
right. We're like, God, are we done with this yet?
Tell
Your
me
kids are
about
sick
it.
again. So, that definitely didn't help, especially because you have that anxiety, that health-ridden health anxiety, where, you have that fear of throwing up and people throwing up, and then your kids are throwing up, and you started, oh my God, when you really like lay it out like that, girl, you need a vacation.
You need a vacation.
Holy
but also
shit.
though, I just want to make sure that even as we're talking about this, that like you are so resilient, and it's inspiring because you have been through the shit, literally. And like, but you're starting to come out on the other side. And like for people that don't, people that are struggling, like you're an inspiration for that, because like you're fighting for it. You know what I mean? Like you're fighting for your mental health. And
you one day said like, I just like, you were like, I can't do it anymore. This is like, I'm done. And I'm like, no, we are not quitting, because you have made it this far. And, we went out over the weekend for my birthday, and seeing you out and like flourishing and seeing like who you are. I don't want to say who you were or anything, but like who you are, it's just like, it was so great. I think we probably said it like 12 times to each other. We were like, we're just so happy. Like, she seems so happy. Like, we just loved seeing you like that. So yeah, your kids are sick again. Those little shits, literally. But like, we're going to get through it, and you are not quitting on us. You are not. Because
they're shitting the bed, literally.
Literally shitting the bed.
We were like, I would make my children live in the bathtub, like hand them a pillow, be like, this is where you reside until this is over.
This is done now.
Because I cannot.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, you've come so far from even like a month ago, and we're really, really proud of you for that, because you didn't want to do it. No, you stop it.
Yeah, you stop.
You didn't want to do this. Like, you didn't want to start therapy, really. You didn't, even though you recognized that you needed it. The anxiety of doing it was a lot for you. So the fact that like you're doing it, and you're taking the medication, and you're taking all the necessary
steps, and it's not easy.
And it's not easy
at all.
And, we all recognize that comes from a place of privilege, that you have those resources and everything. But even having it all is one thing. But you physically taking the initiative yourself to do it is huge. And we're proud of you.
Proud of you, boo. We love you.
Mic drop.
Oh, as I've put you through the ringer. For like the past several months.
But we're here for you. That's just it. I'm like, no, we are not giving up. I think there have been, I was like, go outside, stand in the yard. Like, I was the bossiest. I think at one point I even texted Gage separately, and I was like, is it too much? Have
She's
I
like,
gone was that too far?
No, I think the thing is, like, seasonal depression is like already a thing. Like, I feel like in the area we live in deal with that to begin with, but like add in like your children being sick and not being able to leave the house for months,
and the state of the world
because they're sick, and starting antidepressant, like all at the same time. Terrible timing, but that just means in the spring that I'm going to be thriving.
Oh, you're gonna be. I can't wait for
You're gonna bloom.
springtime. Shuggy's gonna blossom,
Let's
and
hope.
I can't wait because you're just. I don't think you realize what a delight you are.
I know,
Like,
you
I
really
don't
are.
think you get it.
When we were out this weekend and you were like skipping down the
Holding Barb, your new plant.
Yeah, and she got a new plant named Barb, and she was just like holding this beautiful plant, skipping down the downtown street, and like we were just like, look at her, look at our flower bloom.
We were so happy. I think I'm gonna post that picture with this episode because it's the back of you, and it's a good picture, and you're cute. You skipping with Barb.
Is Barb alive?
Yeah, how's Barb?
I think Barb's okay. She got a shower yesterday.
Aww.
She lost some leaves in her shower, but I think she's okay.
Sometimes you got to shed a little bit in your new house. In your new home.
Well, we'll post a picture of Barb too. Barb's named after my mom, just so everybody knows.
Yes.
Yes.
Barb was named after my mom.
I feel like I'm more anxious this week because I like have this wedding on Saturday, and I'm like, I just cannot get sick before this wedding. Because the regular anxiety of weddings.
That's actually part of why I stopped doing weddings because it became like unhealthy for me. Like Shug's a wedding photographer and I used to be a wedding photographer. That's sort of how we like synced up besides our love for Harry. But before I got out of weddings, that was part of the thing is like, I had little kids then and I decided that I remember one time everybody in my house had the stomach flu and I had like this giant wedding and I probably like made myself sick by the stress. Like I didn't know whether it was being worried that I was going to get sick or that I was actually sick because I made myself physically ill worrying about missing this wedding due to illness. Like I like actively bled from a miscarriage and still had to shoot a wedding. Like do you know what I mean? Like you don't get to call off work.
Right. I mean, I've actively been at a wedding and like had to like run out of the church, throw up on the side of the church and like come back in and keep shooting.
Yeah. That's like a whole other, we'll have to talk about this in a Girl Boss episode because like, it's like, we could talk about this, I feel like, for a very lengthy period of time.
Golly.
Because, like, you don't get to call in sick.
Or if
there's no rescheduling.
Like, I mean, like, I've had to before, like, having COVID and just being super sick. And I've had to, like, have somebody else cover a wedding. But, like, the stress around that. Like,
jump through hoops to get somebody that's available.
And I'm not there. Like, are they... Then you have to, like, it's not like, a regular day's pay. Like, you have to, like...
Oh, yeah, you lose money for sure.
People, you've lost all the money that you made on a wedding.
Yep.
It's
And you build relationships with these clients. So then you're terrified that they're not going to understand. And then they're not going to like this, like the other person that you have but it's like beggars can't be choosers. It's like you want to, you gotta.
You want me to puke on your wedding dress?
I shot a wedding after getting ankle surgery, was in a cast on crutches. In fact, like my mom came with me to this wedding because I was on crutches and in a wheelchair and like she had to like push me around. And the bride got like so annoyed that it was taking me long to get places that I ended up just putting the crutches down and walking on the cast and like effed up my ankle. Like so I like this bride was okay with me walking around on a cast knowing that I had surgery like, a couple weeks before just for her pictures. Which is crazy when you think about it.
I would have been like, sit down, we'll gather around you.
Right.
Like, I would have been like, you sit here, I'll pose us. You tell me when you're ready. Like, I could not imagine.
That's not the majority of the people we work with.
Oh my God. I would have been like, what's best for you? Like, you tell me.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my God. People are awful.
I had so many, like, I had great clients that like even because I had all winter-ish babies, so like I was dwindling in my wedding seasons when I was like super pregnant. But like so many of my clients would be like, no, 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 do you need it's like they're getting ready to get married and they're like, can we get you some water? Do you
Right?
need a snack before the ceremony starts? Like, worried about. I had some good peeps.
I was one of them.
Mars was one of them.
Just to clarify,
Yes.
I actually, if I could redo my entire wedding, I would. There was so much I didn't know. I was also pregnant though.
Yeah, you
I
also bumped
was.
it up, didn't you?
Yeah, we bumped it up
Yeah.
like several months. And then my mother-in-law, who I love, very wonderful, planned most of it. And I was just like so uninformed on certain things that I would have like, if I could go back, I would do literally everything different.
Ooh, do like an
I
anniversary
know.
one.
When we found out I was pregnant, I just wanted to go to the courthouse and then like do a fancy dinner, and she would not stand for that. But
Well,
whatever.
listen.
Anyway, back to the
Sorry,
Since
yeah.
Gigi and I are photographers, we're going to go to like the cliffs of Mordor. Is that a place?
what are we gonna do on the cliff?
No. We'll go to Laguna Beach and we'll all renew our vows and get fabulous beach photos.
Wait,
Or
the
maybe
cliffs
we'll end up in Jersey. That's probably
end up in Jersey, Atlantic City.
Deep Creek.
We didn't get to a Vegas vow renewal with Elvis. We made it to Atlantic City.
Your dog's name is
Yeah.
Elvis.
Yeah, it is.
Your dog
I was
could read
trying
Elvis
to name
is
my
still
son
alive.
Elvis.
Oh my god.
The cliffs of Moher, is that how you say it? Moher. Those are actually in Ireland. Look at you.
Yeah, exactly. I said Mordor.
You're like, is that even real?
Like, how
I
would you
think I
make
said
that up?
Mordor.
I don't
I said
know.
Mordor, which is Lord of the Rings, I think.
I was gonna say that's
Okay, Mordor.
fictional. Anyway,
Yeah.
back to where
Mental
we were.
health. Hold on. Yeah.
Jeez.
I do want to talk briefly about like kids' mental health
Yeah.
because I went to therapy as a child. My mom sent me. And I honestly don't remember now like why exactly. I feel like I was a pretty angry kid. And I also had like
You went through the shit though.
well, this was
Yeah.
like beforehand though. I mean, my mom was sick my entire life, up until she passed away. But like I would do things that like looking back, I'm like, I don't know if that was probably why she sent me, but I would like cut up plants like with scissors. And I was like very destructive, but not in like a destructive kid way, in like a ragey way, I think. And I would
You're like, fuck this plant.
but I would also
Snip, snip,
like
snip, snip.
flip shit if like my socks didn't match, like things like that. So I went to therapy as a child and I don't remember for how long. And then my dad made me go after my mom passed away. And I didn't go very long because at that point I was like super rebellious over it.
Yeah.
And now I should probably be in therapy, but I'm not ready. And I acknowledge that like I'm
Yeah.
not ready to do it. I think that I think that I can handle all of my shit pretty well.
And she handles our shit.
Yes.
But I think like someday it'll be necessary for
Yeah.
me. I'm just not ready yet. But in kids, it's so relevant now in kids that it's almost like it's not, I don't want to say scary, but like my oldest child is 11 and he has anxiety and forms of OCD. And he started going to therapy when he was probably like 7 or 8. And he's currently like in what she calls like maintenance mode, where he doesn't go regularly, but like he knows it's available to him to go. But he struggled with like really bad anxiety. Like anytime his schedule really changes, it'll flare up. Like over the summer, whenever his routine of school is out, it flares up a little bit. But it was so bad when he was younger that like he would make himself sick over it. He would this was like before he really found a therapist he liked. This was kind of what the stuff we dealt with him. He would be so anxious to tell us something that like when he finally did tell us, like we knew it was coming. He's like, I have to tell you something. And we're like, let's go to the bathroom. Because as soon as he would tell us, he would throw up.
Sweet thing.
And then he also really struggled with intrusive thoughts. And he didn't know how to handle it because he would say to us like, and as a parent hearing your 9-10-year-old say, he learned at school from some punk kid what suicide is. And it was just he fixates on stuff.
Yeah.
So that was his like hyperfixation for a while, was he's like, I know I don't want to die, but like he's
Oh my
like, but I
gosh.
can't stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
And as a parent, that's so scary because you're like, you know, anytime he was in his room for too long, I'm like, I
Well,
had to check
yeah,
on him type of
yeah.
deal. But his therapist, who, I mean, I wish I could like tell everybody her name.
Yeah.
But she was life-changing for him. I mean, we learned so many techniques for him and things like that to help with his anxiety, to the point now where he saw her twice a month for a year, just like virtually and everything, and got to the point where then he was down to like once a month, and now he doesn't see her at all, because she just was able to help him that much, that even now he'll still come in and he'll be like, hey, I need a topic, which is like the ABC game where you give him a topic and he goes to the alphabet, and he's like, that'll just help clear his mind. And we can tell, but like, what privilege is it that I was able to do that for him? Like, not
That's
everybody can, and not everybody realizes that kids need help too.
Yeah.
They're not just like, yeah, he's 11, his hormones are crazy, but it's not just his hormones. Like, it was very, very real and very scary for a while. So to us to have access to that, I don't even have the words because I'm going to get upset about
No, you can't. Like, no, but also too, yes, we are very privileged to have access to that. But also the fact that you took the initiative to do that is,
I feel like so many parents brush it off in kids.
yeah. We just had a phone call yesterday. Our 9-year-old son, he's going to start with a therapist. We have our intake with her next week. And that was one of the things because he's been dealing with a lot of anxiety.
9 is the age that it really peaked for my oldest too. He's 11 now.
Like, he would be like, well, what if this happens? Well, what if that happens? And then he was making himself throw up over it. He would have these panic attacks. But then also too, which even just talking with this therapist, just to see if we were, a good fit with, her, the things that she specializes in, and with our son, I was talking to her about his anger. When he fights with his siblings, when he gets mad at them, like he'll shove them or he'll do these things. And she said that it's, there is a common thing with at this age with boys and their actions and their anger and things like that. And so she said it's a really great thing to have a parent want to find a way to navigate those feelings in him and not suppress it because it can cause problems later.
Right.
So she was just like, he has, the hormones and the emotions, and he doesn't know how to get them out. Like, cause he'll say, he's like, I don't know why I did that. I don't understand.
Yep.
Like, he doesn't understand. It's not, he's like, I don't want to hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Like I just got so mad. I didn't know what to do. And like, so that, cause we're constantly like, you don't put your hands on other people's bodies. Cause like, he doesn't do any of that at school.
Right.
He doesn't do any of that with his friends. It's only when he's home and if his siblings make him mad.
Yeah. No, my oldest was like that too, where he, even now still, he's navigating, growing up, and he'll say to us, like, I don't know why I feel so impatient. And I'm like, that's okay. Like, let's talk about it.
Yep.
Because especially in men, women, I don't know. I don't want to say like men's mental health is looked over, because women's is too.
Yeah.
But
severely.
men, I think, are less likely to like do something about it. Maybe, and I
don't know. Maybe only because we know that we would have to schedule our husband's
We would have to schedule the
appointments.
appointments. But like for him, I don't ever want him to feel like embarrassed by it. Like when he first started going to therapy, he didn't want anybody to know. He didn't even want our family members to know, like his grandparents, anything like that. And then he got to a point where, like, if one of his friends was upset, or he would like see one of his friends with being anxious, he'd be like, "Listen, I go to therapy." So,
I love
and like he's
that.
very comfortable with it now. Like he'll still say, I have anxiety, I have forms of OCD. Like, for him to get to that point was huge, and I hope he continues to advocate that so that people, his friends, know that the way that they feel is normal too.
Yeah. Like I'll be able to tell my son, oh yeah, well, he goes to therapy, because that's, and my son knows when I have appointments, because usually I do my appointments with my therapist in the evening after my husband's done with work, and they'll be like, all right, I'm headed to therapy, guys. I'll see you in a little bit, and we make it this normal thing.
It's as normal as, oh, I have a dentist appointment.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, it's scary. Some of the statistics that I saw, 32% of US adolescents have an anxiety disorder. 38% are in girls and 26% are in boys. 1 in 7 children and adolescents are affected by mental health conditions,
That's
including
probably just not
anxiety,
even that. I bet that's not right.
depression, and behavioral disorders.
I bet it's not right because a lot of parents won't acknowledge it.
Yeah.
As rude as that sounds, there's so many parents who I'm like, I look at some kids and it's not in a judgy way.
Yeah.
It's in a like,
You want to help
man,
them.
that kid just needs somebody to listen to them.
Yeah.
And it stinks.
And that's my childhood. Growing up with a mom who was a counselor who helped everyone else. But when it came to me, like, just did not want to, I don't know if it wasn't want to admit or like I didn't seem severe enough to help. But I think about that all the time. If I had been helped when I was younger, would that have made a difference for me now? Because, I mean, she still doesn't really, it's not like she doesn't support, because I don't need the support to do it on my own, but like.
She doesn't like acknowledge.
Yeah.
Acknowledge it.
Yeah.
That's kind of like how my family is. Like my sister and I will talk about it, but like we don't like deep dive into stuff in our family at all. Like my husband and I do. I think that families are either like Gigi's family. I want to be in your family so bad because like my mom's side shares more, but even so, like we're just without my mom being here, it's not quite the same.
Yeah.
But like my dad's, like if I said to my dad like I'm going to therapy, he would be like, "All right, kiddo." Like, I'm fairly certain he sent me after my mom died just because, like, somebody else told him to.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it was probably my mom's sister. My aunt was probably like, you need to
send her
those kids in therapy. It's just, I think that now, like, I struggle mildly with anxiety over things.
Mhm.
I, have that constant fear in my mind that I'm going to die. But mine's because my mom did die.
Yeah.
Like, my mom died when I was 12. And she got sick the year she turned 35, and I turned 35 this year. So it's very much like in my mind. So I struggle with that. And I put in our notes for the episode that I have like a weird coping mechanism and with this, but whenever mine are always at night. Like when I lay down to go to bed, if I start to think too much about stuff, I will like not sleep. I will go into a downward spiral. I write a book in my head. I've written great novels.
Listen, we're going to get one of these published one day.
I will start to like write a book in my head and I have characters and all these things. And then I fall asleep. So they're never finished. But
she has a million unfinished great novels.
2-chapter novels in my head. But that's what for me like works.
Yeah.
So that I can like get out of my head with like the fact that I'm going to wake up dead. I mean, not wake up dead, but,
I was like, really? You're going to wake up dead?
But like, I'm not going to like die in my sleep and my kids aren't going to find me dead, It's, that's what I do is I write a book in my head.
Like that. I think that it's great for everyone to find their own types of coping mechanisms, whether it's not, that was one of the other things we wanted to touch base on, like just our self-care and how we, other ways, that aren't medication or therapy, how we do it. Like you guys are.
We're going to do a whole episode on my self-care situation.
Yeah, your wellness.
My wellness being. I'm on a journey. Like I said, the year 35 is big.
She's got her moon water beside her bed and her beef tallow.
I've got crystals in my car.
I had a crystal in my bra the other day and I forgot that there was one in there. And I was like,
that's why I had a good day. Now I have a crystal in my car that one of our friends got me for my birthday. And I'm just like really diving into like taking care of myself now that like my kids are a little bit older. I still have a 3-year-old. So like,
she's scary.
She is scary.
She is cute, but she is scary.
She is scary. She tells Sug all the time, "You're fine. You're fine." She's like the tiny little terrorist therapist.
Oh my God.
That's what she is. When I say self-care, it's very much minimal, but also a lot.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't get my hair done regularly. I mean, I should because I have grays, but I don't really care that much about that. But like, I love having my nails done. And like, that's
Yeah.
something that makes me feel better, whether I get them done or I do them myself. But at the same time, I'm like, here is my bun for the 18th day in a row.
Right? Yeah. No, I feel like there's a fine line
There's
between
like-
like you may have done like a 24-part skincare routine in your living room,
Haven't showered in 3 days.
but your face looks good.
Been wearing the same sweats for a week.
And that's okay. See, yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like, that's fine. We're good. Like,
I've had 12 cups of coffee and I feel great, but I'll never sleep again.
woohoo!
Mm.
But for real, you guys are like part of my thing that like keeps me sane.
Oh yeah.
I feel like the podcast, this, reading. There's so many different ways to like keep yourself on a path that's like good for you mentally. Like sometimes if I'm just like having a shit day, I'll be like, I'm gonna put on a face mask.
Yes.
You know, like it might just be like a $6 Target face mask. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
but
even that's a steep price.
that is a lot.
But
I'm
yeah,
like,
never mind.
I'm like $1.98.
You're like, best I can do is
Best I can do is 85 cents.
Mm. Don't leave that on too long.
No, that's not right. You're right.
or like a walk. Like go walk the dog. Or
Yes.
like whenever you yelled at Shug and we're like, get out in your yard, get
Yes.
grounded. Like so yeah, what all do you guys do to like
I have gone on walks the past 2 days with my 3-year-old and our puppy. And I forgot, like, I mean, it's winter in Pittsburgh. So like
Yeah.
we have not been outside other than to like run to our car and run back. But the past couple days have been super nice and it felt so good. Like I was here with Geeg yesterday morning doing some content work and we both said like we felt so motivated
We were like, "Woo!"
yesterday. Like I got home and we went on a long walk, we ate lunch, like the girls, that's my toddler and my puppy. They
The
took
girls.
the girls took their nap and
I saw them on my way to take my son to preschool. They were on their hot girl walk.
and I was like jumping up and down, waving. Like I just felt so good to like be outside for a little bit. And I think that I just like if I hit the ground running,
Yeah.
I have such a productive day. But if
Yeah.
I wake up, and it's okay to wake up and be like,
Yeah.
no, I'm gonna rot today. That's okay too. But
Sometimes
not unless
you-
you do it every single day. Sure.
She's like, wink, wink.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Get the fuck up.
We'll text and just be like, sign of life.
Yeah.
We just need proof of life. Send us
Like
something.
your dog has not moved in 3 days. Please tell us you're okay.
Mm.
It's just to me, and I read every single night,
Yeah, same.
and that's so good. Like I have taken not time off of social media, but I have noticed lately I've been on it less because the algorithm is fucked right now.
What is happening?
It's the government. The schmovernment is in control, and my algorithm is fucked. Like I'll be like, no, I don't want to see this. I don't want to see
Yeah,
this
like
either.
what is happening?
If I need information at this point, I ask Shug.
I was literally just gonna say,
I
I have questions.
I'm like,
go to
I got questions because I'm the type of person where if I read too much, I am not well.
Yeah,
And
can't
I can
spiral.
stop myself, whereas Shug can't. And we're working on that.
She's just sitting there laughing. She's probably like
Not
actually
well,
Googling
though.
stuff right now.
I have to be like, put down Google. I actually told my husband last night, we were discussing the reel you sent yesterday that was posted to like that other social that I had no idea.
I didn't even know it
It
existed.
was
I had
actually
no
on
idea.
his Instagram and Facebook as well.
Oh my God. Like I had no idea there was a whole nother platform for MAGA, basically. And I like said something to my husband about it. He's like, yeah, I knew it was a thing. And I said, Shug said she wants to join just to like watch it unfold. And he was like, she should not do that. Like even he knows. He was like, she should not be the one to do that.
No.
So we all voted.
We voted. It's a no.
You can't get any more socials. You can like maybe get Snapchat. Like
It's very hard. I have Snapchat. I don't know how to use it. I'm too old for it. But
okay, good. Well, that's it then. You get Instagram and Facebook. You shouldn't even be on
Yeah.
TikTok anymore.
I'm not. I deleted it.
Oh, and now you can't get it back, huh?
No, they did bring it back to the App Store, but I don't want it. It's
Good.
fine.
It's a toxic environment.
it's very hard to want to like be alive right now and want to be informed.
I wish you would have just stopped there. It's really hard to be alive right now.
I mean, it really is. I'm not gonna lie, it really is. But to want to be informed and
No, to be
Oh,
informed,
yeah.
absolutely. Like
We're riding a fine fucking line, man.
Yeah, it's not good to be too informed, but at the same time, you don't want to be ignorant to what's happening around you, because yeah, a lot of it might not actively be affecting me, but that doesn't mean it doesn't matter. But it's hard to read it all.
I mean, I'm scared that it's going to actively affect everybody.
Yeah.
Like,
I think we're
Oh,
gonna.
I mean, I'm sure it will. I meant like,
well, yeah, no.
Yeah.
Like in the time being, no, I know what you mean, but yeah, no, that's where I spiral if I see something, and then I'm like, get your passports. Like I genuinely.
where
am
are we
like,
gonna go? He's buying Canada.
My God, he's such a.
He's not buying Canada.
I don't know. She has
Trudeau
information
won't
we
let
don't
that
have.
happen.
Yeah,
Shug's
I
got
don't think
info we don't have. So
We can't. That
my sister has started a news source it's called Trumplessness. So that's
I
all I'll
love
say.
that. I love that.
And it's news that's not Trump related at all.
What
but
is
it's
it on?
I think I sent it to you. I think I don't know. I'll send it to you. I'll send you the link again for it. But it's because what she does is very news related, and she wants to read the news but doesn't want to read the horrors every day, even though she still does. She has to for her job, but it's basically for other people that she's like, if you still want to read the news but you don't want to cry all the time, here you go.
Or be like scared for your life.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go to your sister and Shug.
There you go. I don't like to go to my sister. I love her, don't get me wrong, but sometimes I'm
Hope you're not listening.
She's not. She's in Mexico because she also has seasonal depression and she has to get the fuck out of here.
We all need to get the fuck out of here.
I'm gonna.
Oh no, what's happening? Go ahead.
No. I just wanted to say, like, we were talking about like in business, women in business, and anxiety, but like, just yesterday, somebody started a Facebook group that's for moms, and it's for like the nitty-gritty stuff that like people don't talk about in business, because like it's not like I can go on my business Instagram page and be like, I don't know how I'm going to show up to weddings this year because I'm not getting out of bed. Like, you can't say that on your business page.
Yeah, but also book me for your wedding.
Yeah, that would kind of kill things. But so it's like a safe space where people can come in and like kind of just like talk about the things that they're struggling with in life. And I don't know why, like, it shouldn't feel so hopeful to like look through all these entries from other women who are struggling right now. Like, that shouldn't seem hopeful, but it does, because you're like, oh my gosh, like, I've seen them at this place and like I would never think like anything is going on in their life. And like it is. And so then you're like, I've started doing this thing where like if I like go to Target, like, like, or if I go out at all, that when I see people, I'm like, okay, they're probably dealing with anxiety too. Or that person's probably depressed. And like, I'm just like labeling people just so I can understand like that there's other people that are dealing with stuff and they're out and about and like doing their thing, which is what I like right now. That I'm like, there's other people that are going through this who are still like
functioning members of society.
Yeah, still going day to day. And like, so I mean, that's probably a very weird thing to do, walking into Target, like just labeling people with diseases, but
you're like, and that one has chlamydia.
Yeah.
Ooh, she should probably get that mole checked out.
I think the biggest thing about all of this is just not feeling alone and feeling like this is what so many people are dealing with. And I think even more this year for people on the right side of history, which is the left, are
Yeah.
the same way.
I love you.
Like, everyone that I talk to who, you know, is a decent human being and cares about other people is having a really hard time just being normal right now. Like it's impossible on top of everything to feel like you don't have a grip on the way that everything is unfolding, and it's like so against all of your own personal morals.
Yeah.
Yeah. My sister and I just had a conversation that every night around 10 o'clock, and I told you guys this too, my dad makes a post, and he's like a real boomer. But he'll make a Facebook post about like the horrors of the country, but it's like a very boomer-ish because like the background of it is like a thumbs up and like an okay side, but then he's like, I can't believe we have to deal with 4 more years of this. And I'm like, this doesn't match, but okay. But my sister and I both said like our dad has never been like super vocal about this kind of stuff. So we're like, we know that one, we're glad that like he's on the right side, which is the left. And two, that like, we're like, damn, you know, it's bad when he's like on Facebook about it, because in the past, like all of his Facebook posts are like pictures of him like with a hang loose sign in Hawaii or like his church's fish fry. That's it. That's all he's ever posted about. And now it's literally every night between 9:45 and 10 p.m. I wait for his post because he must watch some sort of news.
Yeah.
That is every night that there's like something about it. And I send it to my sister because she is off of socials. And we're like, if someone would have said to us, do you think your dad's going to start posting political things? We'd be like, never.
Yeah.
Never will he
never
be that
in a
guy.
million years.
And we're like, damn. Like,
that's when you know.
That's when you know if Ray's posting stuff, it's real. So
yeah, it's just, I mean, how are people okay with things?
I don't know.
Like, that's what I don't
understand. Worry about their mental health.
Right? Yeah. Listen, they're not invited to our farm when
they're not invited to our RFK farm.
No, unfortunately, I just do feel like there's such a division, and like we joke about it left or right. Like, I feel like it's so terrible that like politics have divided people this much.
We always say it's funny, not funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if we don't laugh, we'll cry right now.
It's funny, not funny.
Exactly. I don't know if I will ever understand the other way of thinking, but
I think some of it's not even the other way. I'm air quoting. Nobody can see this. Because like you said, like this divide, I feel like prior to this administration, it didn't feel as divided. I mean, it's always been there. But now it's like some of these things are just so over the top. And so like the things that come out of his mouth, I don't understand how people can justify it. Or
once again, these are our opinions.
Oh, Christ. Okay.
There are opinions. There are feelings. We aren't doctors. We just...
anyway, so we don't spiral.
I know, it's time.
Yeah.
We gotta wrap it up here.
Our mental health, though, like a lot of our mental health lately has been around political stuff.
Yeah.
So that's sort of why we spiraled into that.
And that's okay. Sometimes we have to spiral. We're doing it together.
Yeah. Pick up a book. Start a podcast with your friends.
Go
get grounded. Go put your bare feet not in the snow. Oh, we've been trying to schedule a cold plunge.
Ooh.
We've been trying to schedule this, guys. You're gonna get to.
We're gonna do it.
It's gonna happen when Sug's house isn't exploding.
Literally.
No more.
We're gonna do this.
Can you imagine if she got the cold plunge?
No, stop.
That's why we're not doing it.
I would
No
just
more diarrhea
throw it
shit.
away.
Oh, that's the Zoloft shits. The Zoloft.
Oh, I love that you text me. You're like, how long did that last? And I'm
You were
like,
like,
I did not.
I did not have that side effect. That's why I said, I'm like, are we sure that like it's the Zoloft? Like, have we had this? I just feel like I know your GI tract pretty well now. So I'm
It's
like,
not good.
I feel like the GI. Maybe you guys should drink some kombucha. Like,
we need to get you guys some good antibiotic,
some
for some
cultures.
bacteria. Yeah.
Yeah, you need some yogurt
We're gonna drop off some yogurt and some sauerkraut and some kombucha.
and some booch and get you fixed
my
right up.
gosh.
All right.
Lovely people. Self-care is important. Your mental health is important. You know, get off socials, hang out with your friends, go to therapy, start the medication if you feel like you need it. Do things that bring you joy. We're going to leave some great resources on our socials and on the podcast. Podcast? God damn it. Why did you put me in charge of this ship?
Catch us on our podcast.
We're going to leave some resources for you guys, some postpartum,
Yeah.
some overall mental health.
We're actually starting like a little mini series of like mental health, self-care, wellness, that type of stuff. I think we have a couple episodes. Like I said, we're going to do the cold plunge and talk about the benefits of that while also incorporating some fun 20 questions. We're going to do an episode coming up where I talk about all the weird shit I'm doing right now.
Just in general, just all the weird shit.
all the weird shit I do, my gadgets and my things. I have a basket next to my bed, and every night I like put it in my lap and I start doing all
her gadgets,
my gadgets
beside her bed.
beside my bed. None of them are a vibrator. My face sculptor does vibrate, but it's not the same. But like every night I like my husband will be like, "That's new."
Like, don't worry about it.
I'm like, "You want me to do it on you?" He's like, "Nope, sure don't." So we're gonna do that, and yeah, we have some fun content planned, and yeah.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
I'll do a whole episode about the comfiest sheets to bed rot in. That's all I do.
I feel like I need to sing a song.
We'll put it on
sheets
our
to
LTK,
bed rot
our
in.
LTK page.
Also, we'll link all of the sheets to our LTK.
Here's all the bed rotting materials.
All right, this was fun.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Your mental health matters.
I get by with little help from my friends. That needed to be said.
If you would like to give her a record deal,
I'm here.
at Kinks Out Podcast on IG. Thanks.
Bye, love ya.